Ladies and gentlemen, betrayal is one of life's greatest tests. It arrives unannounced, often from the hands of those you trusted the most. You feel the sting, the confusion, the overwhelming sense that something sacred was shattered. And for a while you might wonder, why? But let me tell you something, life has a way of settling scores not through vengeance, but through something far more powerful, natural consequences. The people who wronged you didn't just betray you, they betrayed themselves. They revealed who they truly are, and that revelation comes with a price. Because when a person chooses dishonesty, selfishness, or deceit, they create a pattern in their own existence. They build their future with the same hands that tore down their past. And make no mistake, those bricks are weak, and that structure will crumble. You don't need to wish them harm. You don't need to plot revenge. Just step back. Because life is a relentless teacher, and it gives harsh lessons to those who refuse to learn. While they chase the next fleeting advantage, you build character. While they deceive others, you refine your wisdom. And while they repeat the same mistakes, you rise above, untouched, untangled, and unstoppable. The best response to betrayal is not hatred, it's transformation. Become so disciplined, so powerful, and so at peace that their actions become irrelevant. Because one day, when their choices catch up to them, and they will look back and realize that the person they betrayed is thriving while they are stuck in the consequences of their own making. So let go of the bitterness, let go of the anger. Life is handling them. You have something far more important to focus on, your future. Betrayal is inevitable, but growth is a choice. At some point in life, you will face betrayal. It may come from a close friend, a trusted colleague, or even a family member. It will be painful, unexpected, and disorienting. When it happens, the first instinct is to ask, why me? But that's the wrong question. The real question is, what now? Betrayal is part of the human experience. People are flawed. They act out of fear, selfishness, or desperation. Sometimes they don't even realize the full weight of their actions. Other times they do, and they do it anyway. Either way it happens. But what truly defines you is not what they did, but how you respond. You have two choices. You can let it break you, or you can use it to build something stronger within yourself. Most people choose bitterness. They replay the betrayal in their minds over and over until it consumes them. They let anger fester, convincing themselves that their pain justifies their resentment. But in doing so, they unknowingly hand over their power. They allow the betrayer to occupy space in their mind, shaping their future with a wound from the past. The stronger choice, the harder choice, is growth. Instead of obsessing over their actions, focus on your reaction. Instead of wishing for their downfall, build your rise. Instead of drowning in bitterness, elevate yourself above it. This doesn't mean you ignore the pain. It means you acknowledge it, learn from it, and refuse to let it control you. Life will bring betrayal again. That's not a curse, it's a fact. The world is unpredictable and people will disappoint you. But if you've chosen growth once, you can choose it again. And each time you do, you become harder to break, stronger, wiser, more resilient. Betrayal is inevitable, but letting it define you is optional. Make the choice that turns your pain into power. Karma is real, but not in the way you think. People often talk about karma as if it's some mystical force, balancing the scales of justice in an instant. But that's not how life works. Consequences don't always strike like lightning. Sometimes They take their time, unfolding gradually, shaping a person's reality in ways they never anticipated. When someone betrays you, you might feel the urge to see them suffer, to watch them pay for what they've done. But here's the truth: they already are. Not always in obvious ways, not always when you expect, but life has a way of making people face the weight of their own actions. You don't need to intervene. People who deceive, manipulate, and betray others are revealing something critical: their own nature. And here's the problem: they can't escape from themselves. They carry their choices, their patterns, their dishonesty everywhere they go. They may get away with things for a while, but life doesn't forget. They will face relationships built on distrust, careers poisoned by their own shortcuts, and an existence where they are constantly looking over their shoulder, wondering when it will all collapse. They may act like they've won, like they've moved on without consequence, but the damage isn't always visible. The guilt, the paranoia, the instability, they grow over time. The same way a tree eventually falls from its rotting core, they will one day face the truth they've been running from. It wasn't you they betrayed, it was themselves. So don't waste your energy hoping for their downfall. Don't wait for life to show you their punishment. It's already happening in ways you may never see. Instead, focus on your own path. Move forward with integrity, discipline, and purpose, because in the end, the person who truly wins is the one who refuses to become like them. Resentment is a poison. Let it go. When someone betrays you, the pain doesn't just come from what they did, it comes from the thoughts that follow, the endless replaying of events, the unanswered questions, the quiet anger that turns into something heavier over time. Resentment begins as a defense mechanism, but if left unchecked, it becomes a prison. You might think that holding on to your anger keeps you strong, that it fuels your determination. But in reality, resentment does nothing to them. It only destroys you. The person who betrayed you may not even be thinking about you anymore, yet here you are, carrying their actions like a weight on your shoulders. Every moment spent dwelling on their wrongdoing is a moment you could have used to build yourself. Letting go of resentment doesn't mean pretending the betrayal didn't happen. It doesn't mean trusting them again or allowing them back into your life. It means refusing to let their actions dictate your emotional state any longer. It means reclaiming your peace. The truth is, people who betray others rarely escape the consequences of their own nature. They repeat their mistakes, they surround themselves with others like them, they live in the world they create. But you have the chance to break free, to rise above the bitterness and focus on what truly matters: your growth, your peace, and your future. Letting go is not weakness, it is the ultimate power move, because while they remain trapped in their own patterns, you move forward, lighter, stronger, and unstoppable. Life is a ruthless teacher. People often believe they can act without consequence, that their betrayals, lies, and selfish decisions will go unnoticed by the universe. But life is not blind, nor is it forgiving. It may take time, but it never lets people escape the lessons they refuse to learn. When someone betrays you, it's natural to wonder if they'll ever face justice. You may think, will they ever understand what they've done? Will they ever feel the pain they caused me? But you don't need to wait for an answer, because life will teach them in ways you never could. A person who builds their world on deception will eventually realize they are standing on nothing but illusions. Relationships built on manipulation collapse. Success achieved through dishonesty fades. Trust, once broken, rarely returns. They will learn, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but when life delivers its lessons, they will be brutal, undeniable, and unforgettable. And here's the irony: the very things they use to betray you, greed, selfishness, deceit, will be the things that undo them. Life doesn't punish people out of cruelty. It simply gives them back what they put into the world. If they've sown destruction, they will live in it. If they've made others feel small, they will find themselves feeling just as insignificant when their actions catch up to them. So, don't concern yourself with making sure they get what they deserve. They will. But it won't be because of you. It will be because of the choices they made. Life is a ruthless teacher. And for those who refuse to learn with wisdom, it teaches with pain. Your greatest comeback is inner peace. When betrayal strikes, it feels personal. It feels like a direct attack on your worth, your trust, and your belief in others. In that moment, the instinct is to retaliate, to prove them wrong, to show them they didn't break you, to make them regret ever doubting you. That's a natural reaction, but it's not the most powerful one, because here's the truth. Your greatest comeback isn't revenge, it's peace. Nothing disrupts a betrayer's mind more than realizing they no longer have control over you. The moment they see you thriving without resentment, without the need to prove anything, without even thinking about them, that's when they truly lose. Because what they wanted, whether consciously or unconsciously, was to diminish your power, to drag you into their chaos, to make you question yourself. When you refuse to engage in that battle, you take away their last weapon, your attention. Many people believe that success is the best revenge. They push themselves to succeed just so they can stand on a metaphorical stage and say, "Look at me now, look at what you missed." But success, when fueled by resentment, is still shackled to the past. If your achievements are built on the need to be seen by those who wronged you, then your mind is still occupied by them. You may rise, but you are not free. True freedom comes when you don't need validation from anyone, especially not from those who betrayed you. Your greatest revenge isn't proving them wrong. It's making them irrelevant. It's living in such a way that their actions become just another lesson, not a wound that controls your future. This doesn't mean you pretend the betrayal didn't happen. It doesn't mean you ignore your pain or suppress your emotions. It means you process it, learn from it, and then release it. You recognize that what they did is a reflection of them, not of you. You understand that life has a way of handling people who move through the world with dishonesty and selfishness. You realize that the best thing you can do is focus on yourself, not to prove anything to them, but to build something real for yourself. People who betray others often remain stuck in their own patterns. They repeat the same mistakes, harm new people, and never truly escape the weight of their own actions. Meanwhile, you move forward, you grow, you build something unshakable within yourself. And one day when they look at you, when they see that you have moved on, that you are at peace, that their actions no longer hold any power over you, they will realize something painful. The person they betrayed became stronger and they stayed the same. That is a lesson they will never forget. And by the time they learn it, you'll be too far ahead to even notice.